All right, welcome to another edition of the Mexican Soccer Show. I'm Luis Vasquez, giving you another. Oh man, I don't want to remind you of what happened yesterday. I don't want to ruin your day, but buckle up, Cesar. You look, you're smiling, you're happy, you're looking good.
That's
Welcome.
well, actually, you know what? I specifically, I was like, you know what? Like, because I'm doing a lot of working from home. I was like in my pajamas, and I was just like, my hair was like pretty wacky since I haven't gotten a haircut since my wedding, I think, to be honest, which was in late October. So I was like, you know what? This gives me an excuse to look kind of like, I don't know, to freshen up and like look nice, and also that makes me feel a little more optimistic about talking about all three, as opposed to feeling like I'm just sitting in the disgusting and just like of the disgust of just like everything from the weekend and just how disappointing that was. But yeah, it's I'm glad that we're recording this now, not last night, because I think I would have been in a very different mood. I don't know how what mood you would
Oh
have been
man,
in, but like yeah.
I have like detailed on when I have been the angriest with the national team. Like
Yeah.
when I have what the heck's going on, I'm shutting doors, I'm going out for a walk, and it's usually World Cup qualifying home games.
Yeah.
Like that's when I'm the most angriest. We could lose a gold cup to the United States, it happened. We could, what there's times that we didn't play right, or 7-0 happens, right? And you're just like, is everything went wrong. You're gonna have those games. You can even play badly in the World Cup, right? Mexico versus Sweden. You're just like, I know, you can get upset, but not like angry. I want to throw something and punch something at the wall. And it's like that only happens. I can think of the times it happened already twice in this
Yeah.
qualifiers. Mexico versus Canada frustrated me. Like I was
Yeah.
really angry after that game. And if we go before that, it wasn't until Mexico against Costa Rica
Yeah.
in the Azteca. I think we also tied them. And I was angry. That's in the Chepo era when I'm like, he needs to go. And then we got the Aztecaso. Like at the
Yeah.
Azteca, I
Yeah.
was just like, this is stupid. I was like, I'm not even gonna get angry because I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
But yesterday, I felt like that just because all the things that were happening yesterday. Where how is it that we can beat a Costa Rica away? It was hard, but we beat them away in Costa Rica. That was the first loss for Costa Rica in El Estadio Nacional in World Cup qualifying. They've never
Yeah.
lost before. And we were able to just beat them last year. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm like, all right, this Costa Rica team isn't that great. But I almost felt like, yeah, we lost yesterday when my dad called me. And he's like, how did they play? Yeah, we lost. And he's like, wait, you guys lost? I was like, I'm like, wait a second. No, we didn't lose. We tied. But
But
it felt
that's
like
but it felt it but the I think that's one of the themes of the night, was that it felt like a loss. They're like, yeah, you see 0-0, yeah, you see Mexico got a point, but that really did feel like a loss. I mean, even the 2,000 people in the stands, like they were they were the bunch of them were chanting Tata out. And here's the thing is that, I mean, I don't know if you're about to bring it up right there. Like most of those people, at least from the reports, like those weren't just like casual
no.
fans. Those were like, oh, family from the players, people who work within FMF, people who know, like those are people who are in the know, and who
These
are
are
chanting that.
friends of the national team with Brent.
Yeah.
I'm happy to work for Marketing Jersey, who, because we do some work with the federation, we do stuff like, they gave some tickets away to some people that we know, and some of my colleagues went, and this is supposed to be a joyous, I got registered. You even heard the Mexico chant instead of the Pete chant, which was really cool
Yeah,
to hear.
that was the only true like win, was that like
I
we
guess
heard
it would be
like
a positive.
yeah, I think that was like one of the few positives, is just that like people were saying Mexico. But yeah, I mean, it was frustrating because, I mean, number one, because of how they played. Yeah, people will be like, oh, they had 25 shots, but yeah, 25 of those shots, like, and yet Keylor Navas didn't really have much to do. Most of those went over his head. Mexico really lacked ideas, creativity, drive out there. I know, obviously there are factors there with the elevation, the Azteca, the packed 3-game
Oh,
window, the constant impact of COVID and everything, to do when it comes to preparing for these
well, yeah.
games. But that doesn't forgive the performance. It felt like I was watching a friendly. Honestly, it felt like I was watching. I think that was,
No, it's not
yeah,
even a friendly. We like we win friendlies. Like it felt. I mean, even when we tied against Ecuador, even when we tied against Chile, or no, we lost against Chile. Like we were going forward. There was action. It was going in. It's just it felt flat. It felt
Yeah,
dull. It felt like there was no vision. I honestly think Tata thought, and I have some theories as to why he did that. We can talk about them.
yeah,
But whatever Tata was putting on the board, this is what we need to do tonight to win. It did not work, which worries me because this late in the World Cup qualifying, after a year of playing these same teams, Cesar, it's not like Costa Rica. It was a team that we haven't played. We've played them like 5 times in the last year from
That-
Nations League in the same players. It wasn't like a
yeah,
rotation of new players. It's that's why I get so angry. Sure, teams are gonna have a bad game. You look at NFL every weekend, right? I'm a Cardinals fan. You're gonna have a sucky game.
yeah,
But at the same time, like this is the game you're supposed to win, and it
yeah,
favors you, like the players that are there. So let's
and-
analyze from the very
yeah,
beginning. Let's do that. We have a lot of comments that are coming in. Conspiracies. If I heard Tata doesn't win next match against Panama, that Piojo's coming in my opinion, I think Piojo's a good coach. Either just look at 2014. So we'll answer them, all your questions will go by,
yeah,
but this one kind of stood out. So let's talk about it. The starting 11, and let me put this out there for you, Cesar.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm analyzing a little bit more, and I'm not excusing. I'm not here to make excuses for Tata. He lost it on him. But here's what I'm thinking. Everybody was kind of surprised when the starting 11 came out with seeing Funes Mori once again. Seeing, I think Montes was a good pick, but seeing Chaka,
Yeah,
Gallardo,
yeah,
uh, and even when Luis Romo went in, I'm starting to think I think Chaka circled this match and said, I'm not putting my best 11 out there because I need the Panama match way more. And because the 3 game window, those Monterrey players like Funes Mori, like Montes, like all the Monterrey players had played. They're gone after the second game. I'm not
exactly.
going to
Yeah.
have them. I need to see everybody. It's a 3 game window in 1 week with elevation, with traveling. I think he was gambling and giving it a weaker match. Plus, you got Raul, who was obviously
Yeah.
was injured. Tecatito's not 100%. I feel like he gambled in thinking that with this lineup, Herrera doing well, Vega doing well, Henry coming in, Chaka, Gallardo, and all them, it might have gotten us some goals and gotten us the win, but it failed.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a fair way of looking at it, and I think that, you know, was I happy with that 11? No, I think you won't find very many people who are defending Chaka these days. You won't find very many people who are defending Gallardo these days. Rogelio Funes Mori, as much as I've backed him in the past,
Yeah, it's done. He's
it's
done. Yeah.
it just hasn't been working up front for all three. But like you said there, like I don't want to say I want to forgive Tata for doing that, but I can see why, because the Club World Cup, he's like, all right, let me use some of these Rayados players, and then make them potentially available in the next game for if they had won, maybe potentially make them available for the Club World Cup. But we'll see what happens with which Rayados players, other than Hector Moreno, who is now suspended, so now he's going to be going to the Club World Cup. But I could see what he was trying to do there and trying to balance the schedule, because it is I mean, remember,
It's a hard schedule.
it's a hard schedule, and in the past you didn't have 3 games in these international windows. It was just 2. And you can understand why some of these players were a little tired as well, because of how much like energy they've already used in the last game and how much they have to save for the next game. That being said, it was disappointing to watch, because like you said, it wasn't as if this 11 was taking on the best Costa Rica we've seen. This is a Costa Rica that only had 7 goals and 3 wins in their 9 previous qualifiers, and they have yet to win away from home. And I mentioned in the last episode that I thought they could potentially draw Costa Rica because of Keylor Navas and net. But one thing that I didn't expect was for Keylor Navas to only essentially make 1 save. It was a shot from Ache Ache, that the free kick. Other than that, that was an incredibly easy game in net.
No, it hit the post. I think it was Luis Ramos shot hit the post.
Yeah, but the thing is, that wasn't. Yeah,
Me and
yeah, yeah.
Kaylor making saves that we had so many shots. I can't remember a single shot that I was like, that one's gonna go in outside of Luis Ramos. Costa Rica had a better shot. In fact, he totally whiffed it.
Celso Borges, or in
Also
the first
Borges.
half?
And if you
Yeah,
think about
yeah,
that, that was Montes' butt. Like that, he
yeah,
left him completely open, got burned. So when I hear and I get all of you guys that are on here, I don't want Chaka, I don't want Gallardo, I don't want Funes Mori, I don't want, guys, yesterday, the players that everyone 100% needed to be in there did not have a good game.
yeah,
Edson Alvarez did
yeah,
not have a good game. Chucky Lozano was frustrated.
yeah,
He was. I mean, if the strategy is to play around, give it to Chaka, Gallardo, Arteaga, or whatever, and un pelotazo to Chucky so he can head
yeah,
it. Like that was the strategy. So I don't necessarily think if Arteaga would have started, Julian Araujo would have started. The game plan in this game was it just was not going to work. And kudos to Costa Rica who went in there and said,
yeah,
"We know how to play Mexico." Again, everyone knows how to play us. Like it's not the first time we've tied against Costa Rica. It happened in the Nations League. It happened at the Gold Cup. It happened in the past Gold Cups. Like we tie against Costa Rica most of the time. Whatever we think we're going to do in Costa Rica is not going to work. But it goes back to Tata being stubborn with this 4-3-3. Very slow build up and find the talent and going around players. It's like if all the players were Tecatito, that's what Tata was trying to do. That's the only thing I can think about. Like, all right,
yeah.
una triangulación going inside, and hopefully one of them gets injured. Funes Mori is going to kick it in. It wasn't working. What did work at home is that 4-4-2 at the end in Jamaica, and that when we played against Jamaica, like why not? But I guess we don't have the players, and
And
Tata's really stubborn.
yeah, and I think what's most frustrating is regardless of the result is just the context of the game is important as well because Tata needs to prove himself in the current window. I mean, it's no secret that he's on the hot seat. Yes, Mexico are still in third, but they could drop to fourth if they lose to Panama on Wednesday, and
Yeah.
I think that's the most frustrating thing for Mexico fans is that it seems like Mexico are making this more complicated than it needs to be. Like in theory, Mexico should have easily brushed aside Costa Rica. They should have been much more comfortable with that of the spot at second in the table, and they could have genuinely started to dream about and also plan for the upcoming World Cup. Yes, Mexico are still in a good spot, but nothing's guaranteed for them, and nothing's guaranteed for Tata either. And it's if you believe the reports, if you believe the rumors, Tata could be out of a job if he doesn't get a win on Wednesday. Well, it probably depends on the context of a draw, but if Tata loses Wednesday's game, I would not be surprised if they were to drop him.
Our friends Chivas del Norte, a great podcast on everything Chivas. Make sure you follow them and see all the great things that they're doing with the women's game, with the women's team, and also the men's team. Chaka forced to miss the next game and the best thing to happen to the Mexican. I haven't had that. I just tweeted out, by the way, as soon as Chaka gets
Yeah.
a second card, I tweeted out Chaka will miss the next game. I have like 140 likes and retweets. That's the best tweet of the night. I'm just
Yeah,
giving you insights.
that
Chaka
got a lot of engagement on my Twitter account too. It's just like,
ton of
oh,
engagement.
Shaka will now make. Someone responded. Who I forgot who was on Twitter. Someone said they responded to the yellow for Shaka. They screamed as if Mexico just scored a goal. After Shaka got a yellow. Yeah.
Interesting enough, okay. Chaka shot almost went. The closest person to a goal was Chaka on that
Yeah,
weird
Shaka.
cross that even Kayla was like, "Oh
Yeah,
crap,
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
this my
Hey,
goal."
but that was such a that was definitely just a bad cross from Shaka. That's all it was.
It was. Look, I don't think Chaka is that bad. I think I want to see I want to see Arteaga and Julian Araujo. I get that, but I honestly don't think when it's like if everyone was doing really well and Chaka was just not at that level, then I'd be like, all right, get Chaka out of there. But again, I think it's just the fact that like everyone did bad that I was just so mad, so pissed, and I was
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think yeah. Gallardo didn't do well. Shaka didn't do well, but I'm not gonna pretend as if like Funes Mori played well. I'm not gonna
yeah.
pretend as if like I wanted more from Tecatito or Chucky.
But
I think they
what did Funes Mori didn't I mean no falló. He scored that goal where it was offside. Like I don't necessarily think it was like if Henry didn't come in and was like way better. He made a changes, three changes, right? Arteaga, Funes Mori came out for Henry, and I believe Luis Romo came in, right? And it's not like the team looked better. It's not like, okay, now we have like when he made the subs in Jamaica, it was a completely different
Yeah, no,
team.
that yeah,
Vega
agreed,
coming
agreed.
in yesterday did not change anything, and that's where I'm going to. I don't necessarily think that anybody could have gone in there and would have changed the game because there was no vision on how to beat that bunker.
I think, honestly, actually, I think they did look a little bit better, and thought that did bring that up in the post game press conference. He thought Mexico did look a little bit better in the second half, but it still wasn't enough for El Tri
Oh,
to get the goal there. And I'm not gonna say it was enough for me to be
I don't think it
impressed
was
and think
better.
like
So you think
I think
Mexico
just
had
I think
a better second half than the first half?
I mean,
I
but
think
the first, I
honestly it's
mean,
the same.
I'm gonna say yes, but the first half was really bad, so the bar was really low. Like, I'm
Oh,
not saying
I
like,
didn't we? I
yeah,
mean, we had that offside. Um, I think Herrera was. I think that was in the first half too. The shot. Like, I don't necessarily think that the second half was like, yeah, good job. Like your subs worked or didn't, but I get it, and I think that's maybe my think. Like, I don't think any players coming in there are going to change the game in order for us to like get. We were good have gotten the three points, not the way that our midfield. Like, I know people don't like Herrera. Herrera looked bad yesterday because it felt like he was trying to do way too much, and you're not going to get through Costa Rica that way. Everything
yeah,
went through Herrera like it did in Jamaica, and I've seen this Herrera do really well in a Gold Cup. Like he was our best player in the Gold Cup, playing against El Salvador, playing against Canada. Like he can distribute the ball well, but when Costa Rica puts 10 men in the back and we're just looking for that creativity, it's just not going to work.
yeah. And I don't think he's really the big person to blame here. I think it was more of a collective effort that really, I don't know, that really was a problem here for all three. And I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was bad. I thought he was good with his distribution and whatnot. I didn't think he was awful. I mean, yeah, I've seen better games from him, but I think the issue is when you
But
in a compare.
he didn't do well. Like I can't go like, okay, Herrera, you had a good game. I don't think he could have done well. Like it was just
Yeah,
it's just not working with that 4-3-3 in
yeah.
that way, playing against those. And that's where I'm more like that. And that's where I continue to go, that come on, like this isn't new. So I'm stepping back and I'm going, why? Why not
Yeah.
put in the best players? And I think that it does have to be with that 3-game window. But again, it doesn't help us when we have a 2-game window, we lose both of them. Granted, it's the whole United States and Canada. I get it. I get it.
But we'll see what happens in the next game though, because it almost feels like Tata's gonna have to do some forced
Oh,
changes with now that Jorge Sanchez is injured, now that Shaka's unavailable. I mean, he could potentially play Cata Dominguez at right back. I really hoping that's not the situation, but it does seem like there's a golden
that didn't do
opportunity there.
bad. Because
It's just
okay,
I think
here's
it's
what
because we want to see Julian Araujo. I think that's the thing is we really want to. I feel like he could have
here's
been a
what I
game
don't
changer. Yeah,
But here's what I don't understand, guys. Any player that's on the national team should be able to play against CONCACAF teams.
of
Like we're
course.
not
Yeah,
playing
of course.
Belgium. We're not playing France. Like if you told me, by the way, we play France at home. All right, Cata Dominguez, Chaca Rodriguez, Gallardo. Holy crap! Right? Like
Yeah.
you know, like we need the talent and the best. Have we stood so low that we think the reason we're not winning because Chaka in Liga MX is still one of the best players. Like Gallardo and is still doing well. Like it's we should have enough with Chaka and Gallardo to beat these teams.
We should.
At home, maybe not on the road. At home,
Yeah.
at least. Liga MX players on our league day in and day out have a good league, right? Monterrey versus a Alajuela, Saprissa, Heredia. We should
Yeah.
be able to beat these teams.
No,
It's not
100.
happening under Tata.
No, 100%. I think there's a. I mean, the amount of times we talk about the mentality issue with El3, and I think that it's almost like they haven't recovered since those losses from late last year. I felt like after that dramatic win against Jamaica, it was like, all right, here comes El. Like
Breathe.
this is
Yeah.
this is the El3. This is the kind of like mentality. Like they're gonna play some really exciting soccer on Sunday. They're gonna really mix things up. They potentially even get a big win against Costa Rica. But once again, you do worry about the mentality of the team. It's just it feels like this is a team that just came off those losses to the U.S. and Canada. That's what it
The,
looked like ultimately.
the what happened with Jamaica, we had a good first half. Everything was going right. We had three. It should
Yeah,
have been
we
like
played well. Yeah,
3-0.
we
Red
looked
card,
good against Jamaica.
a defensive mistake And these, and I've talked about it, at the stadium there when I was at the Mexico Jamaica game, the first one, you can just feel like in La Banca because that everyone's just like flatted out. Like when something bad happens, we cannot come from behind. It takes us a long time. It takes a certain player like Vega to come in and be like, all right, that guy's got the right
Yeah.
mentality. And some people are calling, we need these types of leaders that are coming in. We do. We always need better. The team is better when we have a Rafa Marquez or a Cuauhtemoc Blanco puts their team on their back. I get it, right? When Diego Lainez came in that flashiness against Jamaica, perfect. But Jamaica gave us the spaces. Jamaica had a
Yeah.
terrible game. The way that they thought that they could come in and give us so many spaces and hold back. There's a difference between Jamaica coming back, giving up a bunch of spaces. I mean, not even pressuring, and
Yeah.
Costa Rica, right? Just waiting for that counter.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Jamaica didn't even do it. Jamaica didn't
Yeah.
even do it. So it's two different styles of games, and that's where I'm just kind of like, how? Like, what is it that we need
Yeah.
to do? Because I don't see it.
And the fun thing is, we feel like everything is like crashing down. Mexico's really struggling here. They could potentially drop down to fourth if they lose to Panama. But the fun thing is if they get a good win against Panama,
7 points.
their chances look excellent. I mean, that's the best way
We're
to
gonna
put
go
it.
to the World Cup. I mean, it is
That's just the best way.
catastrophic if we don't. Like
Yeah.
even if we go to the repechaje, I think we're going against is it Oceania?
Yeah, for the
Okay, so New
OFC
Zealand
chip.
again.
Yeah, so it'll be something like that. But
So
that's the thing is like that's the only thing that gives you just a little bit of hope is that Mexico they still have time to turn things around. If they get if they close out this window with a good win against Panama, and if they defeat the US, and after that, I mean,
God,
yeah.
we're not defeating the US if nothing
Y-
changes. Like
You never, yeah, that's true. Yeah, based off yesterday's
hold
result,
on, bro.
yeah,
Like we could
yeah.
not beat Costa Rica at home. It's okay. And let's talk about it. Listen, I have like again two like Wisos, right? I have the everything's gone, it's over, I can't believe. And then it's like I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning, I have my water bottle every morning in my water bottle, and I start walking and getting the
Yeah.
mail, doing the things that I do every morning. And I'm like, you know what? It's 3 games. Like maybe like not making excuses, but I'm like, okay, let's step back, right? Have we always had problems with CONCACAF teams in the Azteca?
Yes.
Outside of Osorio, yes. It was a really bad CONCACAF. Like, but again, okay. Why is it that we are better away with this Mexican national team? Like, we have 10 points away when we're playing. We are the best 10, away team in CONCACAF. Canada has only had one win, and it was against the worst team in CONCACAF, Honduras. Eliminated Honduras. US has got that one win against Honduras, eliminated Honduras, right? We got a win in Costa Rica, a win in Jamaica, a win in El Salvador. Like, I'm going, okay, we're a good away team in World Cup qualifiers. So I'm like, any team like Costa Rica, Panama, Jamaica would be like, dude, we'll take 10 points away, right?
Mhm.
It's like we're the best team away, but we're the worst team at
May-
home.
Maybe that says something more about the Azteca than anything else, though. I don't know, like players who are now have to adjust to elevation, and now the
I
Azteca,
mean,
and the
yes,
Azteca, and the Azteca doesn't have the same kind of like power that it once had. Obviously, it's difficult to have a lot of power when you only have 2,000 fans there in attendance, and there'll only be
yeah,
2,000 in the upcoming game. But the fun thing is here's the thing is like I know they're about to have another home game, but like despite all the issues and problems that we're talking about, I think it's still a successful window if Mexico gets a win on Wednesday. If it's a 1-0 win and it's from an
yes.
89th
And
minute goal and it hits Raul Jimenez like on his back and it goes in and Mexico gets 7 points, that's still a successful window.
we said
It's still a
Mexico was
window.
going to get 7 points, right? We did. We
Yeah.
said Mexico's. I think it's because it wasn't like there was 19 chances and just it didn't go in, which happens in football all the time. Costa Rica with the red card, we got a red card and now we're down 1-0. We came back to 1-1. It wasn't that like, whew, that type of
Yeah.
game. There are going to be those games that we're lucky to have that win, which happened twice against Jamaica, right? It was the fact that I almost fell asleep. Like I had both TVs. If the
Yeah, it was
NFL
it
was
was bad.
playing, The NFL what game was it on? Like, I would have dozed off. If
It
I
was
didn't have a
genuinely
job
really
that
bad.
I needed to do and watching the game. I mean, and here's kind of where I'm going with this, especially with Tata. I feel like Tata's main job is to get us to the World Cup. I think I think
Of
there's
course,
two
yeah.
things that they told Tata. They said, "Get us to the World Cup, don't lose at home." Like flat out, these are the
Yeah.
two things that cannot happen, right? En este caso, and I feel Tata is such like he doesn't necessarily get that we cannot lose to the US 3 times in 1 year. He doesn't get that, at the Azteca, we need to have the 3 Gs, gustar, golear, ganar.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't get that part. You tell me that if he's in Argentina and he loses to Brazil 3 times in 1 year, fans aren't gonna be crazy. Like,
So
I
so what
feel
what
like
what are you saying? Like, bring back Hugo Sanchez or
no, no, no,
something?
no,
Or
no.
like Ojitos
I'm
Mesa or
saying that
something, and just like someone like what do you
I'm
say?
not saying that Tata should go. I'm saying that I think Tata is a very conservative manager, and he goes, I'm not gonna risk my best players, against Jamaica if they're like he's really conservative about this 3 game thing. Like if I get 7 points out of the 9, just like you're saying, it's a positive. He
Yeah.
gets that win, and he's gonna tell you we had a bad game on Tuesday because of this. We had rested some players. I got some players leaving in Monterrey. Raul, Chucky are not, Chucky wasn't there in the first one. Raul wasn't there for 2 games. Montes, Moreno, Chaka all have yellow cards. Like, I have 2017 players to play 3 games, and minimum, I need to get 7 out of 9 points so I can be in the World Cup. I'm going to do it. I feel like to him, it's okay. And I think stepping outside of it, it is okay. I mean, I
It
talk
is,
to
yeah.
US fans and they're like, okay, but you're gonna get 7 points. Like, look at us. We lost against Canada away. And we're kind of like, yeah, but we did too. So, like, I mean, you expecting to beat Canada right now is on a high team. Like, US and Mexico, how horrible we are. We both think we have the worst teams, are in second place, tied for second place. Like sometimes I know it's crazy.
And yeah, and that's and it's because these things change very quickly. If Mexico gets a big win on Wednesday, then we're gonna have an entirely different tone the next time we come onto the Mexican soccer show. Right? I think we're gonna feel entirely different about the state of the national team, and that's the thing. That's the thing to cautiously be optimistic about is that Mexico still have a chance here. They still have a chance to have a good window because this is something we've talked about in the past too. In World Cup qualifying, it doesn't have to be about playing well or playing like great soccer. It's just about getting the results. And
Yeah.
no matter what happens in this window, if Mexico gets 7 points, I really, or I mean, obviously you can't get more than that now, but as long as they get those 7 points, there's a part of me that says I don't really care like how they did it. What matters most is just
Well,
being able to do that.
so yeah,
But it is still fair. But it is still fair for a fan to look at the details of that process and say,
it's just that
oh, but yeah,
it's
yeah,
so different. It's so hard. Okay,
it's
it's kind of
tough.
like
Yeah,
playing World Cup qualifying is different than any other competition. It's not a single elimination. As long as you get a tie, like teams are going to play you differently, right? So I think I saw in the comment, losing to Panama need more convincing than win against Panama than 1-0. That's not enough. Like I get that, right? We want to see all those wins,
yeah,
but again, it just like if you're up 1-0 in the 70th minute, like and you have to like players have to go back to Europe. They're already tired. Like World Cup qualifying is hard.
yeah,
It really is. And then I know what people say about the Azteca, right? Oh, it's and you have great points like no pesa más el Azteca and all stuff. Like
yeah.
Mexico having the car right there by the Azteca, which is
Oh, of
close,
course,
right? The instalación is like that's why also Mexico plays in the Azteca because
of
they don't have
course.
to go get a hotel, they don't have to go get facilities, they have their own cooks. Like there's another reason why that people don't know that it's not just the home field advantage, is because our players are rested, our players are fed, our players are whatever. That's why they don't do important World Cup qualifying games in Guadalajara. They could spend a little more money, but it's that. Um, all that to kind of just say it's sad as a fan. You want them to play better. I see all the comments right now, and we'll go through them right now. Even you, Joanna Sanchez, who says they're not going to watch the World Cup if Mexico's not in it. We'll talk to you, but sometimes I feel like we just need to just breathe, step back, come back after a
Pra-
day, and see. There's
Practice
hope.
practice mindfulness, deep breaths, do some yoga, go on walks. Helps
All
outside
right,
of outside of soccer fandom too.
let's see. Let's see what these. Start with Giovanna, who's always on saying, "I legit wouldn't follow the World Cup if Mexico isn't in it." Guys, I've lived through a World Cup without Mexico. I was young. It was 1990. Yes, I'm that old. It sucks. So for those of you that said, "Oh, we should just not make it to the World Cup so we could
Ooh,
teach the FMF a lesson,"
I can't
no,
imagine that. No, I can't.
no,
I can't imagine that. No.
no. It's like no. It'd be horrible. Ask USA fans how horrible they felt like when. So no, I'm not it. It says Tata starts on Wednesday. Tata, if Tata
I've
starts
got
on
this.
Wednesday, Tata already gave up. Tata didn't do that bad.
That's the thing too. You brought that up earlier. It's
Bad.
just that he actually was okay. I think Gata Dominguez gets, and we can make jokes and whatnot. And yeah, personally, if it was up to me, I would have Julian Araujo starting it right back. But you know what, Gata, when he's in recent games, when he's had opportunities with L3, he's done better than I thought he would. So I wouldn't blame Tata too much if he were to start Gata. But obviously, I'd rather have Julian Araujo.
Victor saying, I would like to see Linus taking up the middle more like he did in Jamaica. That is what won us the game. Linus changed the face
Yeah.
of the national team. But remember, Jamaica was just giving us so much space. Right, Linus was able to do whatever he did. I felt like Linus, to me, did one extra than most. Like I've seen in Betis when he
You didn't.
plays.
I was just saying you didn't like the game
No,
against
I did. No,
Jamaica.
he did well, but there were times when
I'll
I'm just
say,
like, Linus, you can't do everything. Like, I think Tecatito had a better game than Linus. To
yeah.
me, like
I mean,
Tecatito,
Linus, but he's still a
he didn't
great
have
player
a
off
game.
the bench. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, when I was like, Linus has to start, but I think Linus Linus gets a lot of playing time against the game in Panama.
Mhm.
Right? And I feel like that's what Tata was doing. Like, give the players the rest that played, and not get ready for starting. That's why at least I hope so. Now, but then again, now he has some players that are not going to be there. Martin, I hope Junior Araujo gets a chance and plays on Wednesday, but for some reason I think it's going to be Gata.
There's a chance.
Didn't
There's
Gata play
definitely a
center
chance
back
there.
though?
Yeah, but he's played as right back for L3 before. Like he's definitely done that. Like that's not his natural.
I thought he played for center back last time he was in.
It might have been the last time, but he's definitely played at right back for L3 before.
Bro, bring back Miguel Ayun and there's something about those positions, like our right back and left back, that we are. Could we say it's our worst position? No, not worst. The most criticized position, because I always feel like
Yeah.
no, Layun or even Aguilar, like who. And let me see the comments, and I'll start saying them. Who is your favorite in the last 20 years, right back and left back for LD?
I mean, actually, Layun, when he was at his best, he was an incredible player.
Layun
There's
had like 3 lungs.
yeah, there was that
Layun,
time.
yeah.
There was a time when he was with Porto, and then he was just collecting like assist after assist after assist. And remember, there was a time,
that played with the national team.
yeah, and remember there was a time.
I guess Layun gave us the win in Columbus.
Yeah, yeah.
He scored against I think back of like Osorio Salcido, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And Osorio had the worst mistake in 2010 to just gave the ball away against Argentina.
Yeah, after that. And then
And I feel like those I feel like we since then we just after that who's our right back and left back in 2010 in 2014.
That's no, it was Layun, and it was Aguilar. It had to have been
Aguilar
Aguilar and the others.
Gallardo.
Yeah, Gallardo and then Shaka. Yeah.
In 2018, Chaka was starting?
I'm pretty sure.
We'll
We'll have to look it up. We'll have to look it up.
Favorite rap in the last 20 years is Efrain Juarez. Efrain Juarez gave us one good, like that 2009 Efrain Juarez was an amazing Efrain Juarez. After that,
that guy was for about honestly probably like a year. He was my favorite player. I was like, oh my god, this guy could do anything. Like I thought he could take on everybody on that flank, and during that 1 year, maybe 2 years, he was absolutely killing it. No, he did. Yeah.
Questions: would Almeida do better with our squad? Look,
Ooh, he's having issues of his own in the last like season or two with the Quakes. I mean, it'd be fun soccer. It would definitely be. I mean, it probably would have been the exact if Almeida was manager of yesterday's game, it would have been probably the exact opposite. Probably like too many numbers going forward, too many players going forward. But then again, you know what? I think Almeida has gotten criticized for like the way he sets up the earthquakes and their set pieces. So maybe we would still have issues with that with set pieces.
bring in Nicolas. This is the name that everybody keeps talking about from Puebla. Like, okay, I feel like just yeah, okay, he's doing things well, but what else? Come on, guys. Like, we
He's
can't
good.
just
He's good. Give him time. Give him time. We'll have this conversation.
time.
We'll have this conversation 5 years from now, maybe 10 years down the line. I think he needs time. But he's had a good start.
Thoughts on John Herdman talking about Canada's recent success could lure in Marcelo Flores.
Yeah, he
Canada
was.
just keeps hoping that
That's
like
that's what I do,
Marcelo
poser.
and his dad is like, hey, by the way, we're here and we're not going away if you still want to go. Canada asked for Marcelo last year. Marcelo denied it. Canada said he's definitely coming for camp in January. He's not at camp because he went to the sub-20s. Now Canada's like, oh, Marcelo's watching the game, guys. They're going to continue to do that, and I don't think we're going to see Marcelo anytime soon with the Canadian team.
It seems like Marcel is definitely like committed to all three right now. But yeah, no, John. For those
He
who
played
missed out,
great.
John Herdman after the Canada beat the U.S. I mean, he obviously kind of like excited. He was kind of like beaming and like talking about like how well his team was doing and the players and how there's like this good environment. And then he did say at the end of the press conference saying that there's a lot of young players, young stars in our team. That maybe someone like a Marcelo Flores is looking and thinking, maybe play for Canada instead of Mexico after this
Canada with
result.
tricks. Listen,
Hey, I don't blame him for
if
doing that.
anything, I'd call back like, hey, Marcelo, look, Canada's just you're not gonna have a spot. They're so good. Like there's and Mexico is struggling. So where do you think you're gonna play first?
Hey, if Mexico lose tomorrow on Wednesday, and then if you're Marcelo Flores and you're seeing Canada at the top spot, I don't know. I'm not saying it could happen, but yeah.
2021 summer changed everything. It all went the drain with Nations League and Gold Cup. It's true. And we talked about it at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, where it's just like it's been a hard 2 years for Mexico.
Yeah.
We had the two biggest, I would say the biggest injury, to one of the best players. Like, yes, we've had hard injuries in the past, but Raul Jimenez and what happened, and how long Raul was there, because I feel like Tata's whole game was Raul Jimenez and Chucky Lozano. Like, if you look back, what is the best game they played against a good team was in Belgium. I watched that Belgium game again, and Chucky Lozano was just amazing. Like I feel like those stars and they were playing well, and then the pandemic hit, the stop, obviously Raul Jimenez, and it just feels like all these injuries, the Nations League, then those losses, just you could not recover.
Yeah, and we've seen that recently too. I mean, in the last two games, there's this very obvious absence of Raul Jimenez up top. And we continue to see that in the current international break. Fingers crossed that if reports are true, that he'll be ready for the game against Panama on Wednesday. But once again, I feel like we shouldn't.
I think
we shouldn't put too many high expectations for him, because it's also not the same Raul Jimenez from before his injury. I think it's understandable that he's not at the same level and that he might need a little bit more time. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, and even before the injury, I think a lot of people criticize that Raul Jimenez isn't, is not doing the same. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I think he will be playing, because if he wasn't ready, he would probably go back.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think
Wolves would probably want him back.
Like, all right, if he's not going to play, why are you out there? Like, bring him back over. So I think he will, and I think this is why I think he could have played against Costa Rica, and I think this is why Tata a little more conservative, saying, all right, out of both games that we're going to play, the Panama game is way more important. I'll rest you, and you're 100% to come back in Panama. Like, I felt the conservative Tata was there, where it wasn't a do or die game for Costa Rica.
Yeah. And if Mexico gets 3 points on Wednesday, then I think that Tata will deserve at least a little bit of credit for many of us who are justifiably and correctly criticizing right now. But if he gets the 3 points on Wednesday, that'll definitely be a huge change.
Giovanna saying, I don't expect USA and Mexico to win away games often. Mexico has won away games. Like I said, we've won 3 already of the away games. The USA, fun fact, has only won 1 away game since like 2016. It was against Honduras. So like in World Cup qualifying. So you can bash that to your American friends. We'll bash you, but yeah, they have no room to talk right now. I personally think that we're a team that lacks identity. We're a team of talented players that currently don't work as a unit. And that could be the coach, as well said. I mean, you're feeling it. It was very dull, like I said, going back to
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
All right, so what do we so let's about to finish soon, but Cesar, to you, you're the head of the FMF. You're sitting there watching the game. Mexico loses this game, no matter how. If it's 1-0 or 3-0,
Yeah.
they're now in repechaje. Next games are El Salvador at home. The next games are
US at home.
Who's the first game we play? It's not the US, is it?
Yeah, it's the first one to be against. So the first one, USA at home on March 24th, away against Honduras on the 27th, and then at home against El Salvador.
That's it. That's the 3 games, and everything is so close that if we lose against Panama, we're out. I mean, we're not. We're in the repechaje. We're in the 4th.
We're in a bad position. We're in a bad position. Yeah.
Do we wait because you can't fire the coach if we lose to the US in the middle of the camp?
That's too late. Yeah. I think here's the thing. If I was in charge of FMF, I think it's already too late to fire Tata. I think if they wanted to do that,
already too late. Says that I asked you last year, and you're like, no, it's not. You shouldn't fire him. So when we could have fired him,
I don't know. I think it's. I don't know. This is why I'm not running the FMF.
We know what. I think honestly, yeah,
I think it's too late. I think it's too late. I don't. Either way, regardless of what I said in the past,
late. But I think it wasn't too late in 2013 when Piojo came in. Like, which many people on the chat, by the way, are saying Piojo needs to come back. Piojo.
Would you? Okay, Lisa, would you feel comfortable if they with?
I don't. If Tata gets 1 point in 2 home games, he's not ready to play against the US. He and you lose against the US in the Azteca, like that's it. Like, I'll give him until Wednesday. If there is a loss there, to me,
okay,
he lost it. Like there's no answer for him. 2 home games,
yeah,
right? He can only get and a tie.
It depends on the concept, but here's because I mean,
tie's gonna be. I don't know. Tie and loss many people. What do you guys think on the chat?
Because here's the thing: is
people fire Tata right now. Never mind. I don't know why I'm asking that.
Yeah, so you know 100% that they would have him fired. But here's the thing: is it like that. If I were in charge, I wouldn't fire Tata depending on the result on Wednesday, even if they lose on Wednesday. But the thing is, it's like I completely understand those who would want him out, those who would already want him out, because
I thought last year I was like, look, just wait. Like, no, it's there's injuries, it's whatever. Even the 2 losses in the Nations League, I'm like, we are up all that.
At least in those games, Mexico played well. Mexico played well in those games.
Yeah. Guardado makes the PK, and the US does. We go into penalty kicks, something positive from Football King saying, you know what, I think we beat Panama. It's the 3rd game of the window, and Panama usually gasses out in the 3rd game. It's true. If you look at all the teams that are on the bottom of the qualifier, their 3rd games are usually losses because they don't have that depth. Mexico does. That's why I'm saying this is a must-win game. And for me, if we cannot beat a gassed-out Panama at home, we have what's going to happen against the U.S. at home in the 1st game.
At least the U.S. will be opening up a little bit more. Maybe Mexico could have more opportunities there, as opposed to a team that's bunkering. But no, it's a huge game. I think it's going to make or break Tata's position with L3, and of course, it's obviously important to L3 about qualifying for the World Cup. It isn't a given yet. That there are no guarantees about the World Cup just yet. But at the very least, the numbers are looking good. I saw they're called We Global Football. They crunched the numbers, and it looks like the magic number could be around 23 points for Mexico for a spot in the top three. And the top four probably around 21 points. But it looks like if Mexico can get 23 points, and right now they have 18, they should be in a good spot for the World Cup.
Yeah, you win on Panama and you beat the U.S. Imagine beating the U.S. and getting the World Cup berth. So
That'd be pretty cool.
I think if Utah loses Panama, he should be fired. But I still think they'll fire him. I don't know. I think they will. Where's that Fuera Tata Twitter account?
I'm sure there's one.
I have no idea who would ever replace Tata if he gets fired. Me neither. Me neither.
Yeah, the rumors are that it'd be potentially Piojo, but yeah.
Yeah, Piojo coming back. I don't know. Tata should only get fired if we lose against Panama. Tata is spiraling. I thought inspiring. Yeah, looking at how Mex national team is playing right now, World Cup forecast is not great. If someone else comes in with different mentality, there might be a chance to come back. Bring back Ferretti. Oh,
no, that'd be.
Victor saying Piojo. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. Fun show. We try to make it as fun as you can, giving you guys our thoughts. Lots of people. There are 5 players on the team that have no business being there, and the coach as well. Ruthless, man. People are tough. It's funny, man, and it's great to have you guys on. Cesar, once again, thanks again. What happens?
Thank
what
you.
Predictions? All right, everybody too. I want to see. This is what's so funny. Like everyone is thinking horrible things, and then they're gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mexico gets a.
I think Mexico wins.
Yeah, I think it'll be a comfortable win. Something that we've seen from Mexico in parts of these World Cup qualifiers, and we saw it against Jamaica, is like we want Mexico to be dominating like game in, game out. But like in the game against Jamaica, sometimes when they have to take more risks, when they have to act, when there's a little bit more inspiration behind there, they get the job done. I think Tata's back is against the wall. I think El Tri know how disappointing the latest result was. So I think they'll get a comfortable win here. And they, like you said, Panama don't have the same depth as El Tri. And I think that Mexico have some really exciting options off the bench. So I'm going to say, I'll say 3-1 win.
Just with Joanna saying 3-1.
Oh, nice.
All right, everybody, what does everybody think? Cool. Mexican 48 says 2-0 Mexico. Does anyone think that Mexico is going to lose? Michael Limon saying Mexico 2-1. Yeah, I think Mexico win. Maybe because Mexico has to win. Like I can't get in my head to think on a positive note.
Yeah.
Mexico. I'll tell you this: I'm not betting on Mexico on on any betting site.
Could you imagine it would break my heart if it were, but could you imagine the actual freak out and the breakdown from everybody involved in the Mexican soccer scene if Mexico were to lose?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if that?
It's true. I mean, if Mexico loses, they're in 4th place. Panama goes up. The U.S. is gonna win. I think they have Honduras.
I mean, nothing's guaranteed in the octagonal.
Honduras at home is guaranteed. Now they're out of it.
I don't know.
We'll see. El Salvador beat them at Honduras.
I don't know.
2-0. If there's a team that's done that is later, it's Honduras. The U.S. is going to win against Honduras because they have them at home, and especially what happened in Canada, right? And they're going to get 3 points. They're going to be at 21. Mexico loses, Panama goes up, and Canada. I don't know if Canada's going to win. I think they play in El Salvador. It's good, maybe they get a tie, maybe they get a win by what they're doing. They're doing things well, and now Canada is 6 points away from us. We're not getting 1st place. Yeah. We're 4th place now. Costa Rica gets a win, and they're right below us.
That would be the worst. That'd be the worst case scenario. Is Canada and U.S. doing well, and then
Costa Rica, Panama win because Costa Rica has Jamaica. I think that's right. Home? No, they go to Jamaica. They go to Jamaica. Let's say they get the win. Costa Rica is inching on us. We lose against the U.S. Potentially, Costa Rica passes us, and we're out of the World Cup after losing to the U.S. with 2 games left.
We'll see what it hasn't happened yet. Things will be.
My math is wrong. I think Costa Rica needs more than 3 points.
That's all right. It's fine. As long as it's just once. I mean, it's Wednesday's game's gonna be a make or break situation for all 3. If they get the win, the odds of qualifying for the World Cup are so much better. If they lose or even or draw,
qualifying are so much better. This is why this is an important game. But you know what? It's kind of fun. Like I like the fact that I don't like the fact, but it's kind of cool to see that close because as much as we're doing really, really bad, like we think we are, the U.S. Almighty U.S. is still only 18 points, the exact same points as Mexico. So, and they're in second place. So we'll see. All right, guys. All right. Thank you so much to everybody. Don't speak it into existence, saying when is Cesar coming back? Cesar, you can ask him right now. He answers all questions on Twitter. But Cesar was
There
a
you go.
fun little.
That was fun. Also, really quickly, we still got the played as a right back against El Salvador last October,
and we got the win.
We got
oh. When Tata plays a right back, Mexico wins. New headline. Things weren't this bad when Tom Marshall was on. It's true.
That's it. Tom, yeah.
We have all said the minute Tom Marshall left Mexican soccer is the minute the Mexico lost to the U.S. I mean, it's true. We can all blame this on our amigo Tom Marshall.
We'll have to do some sort of like Kickstarter. We'll find out what Tom's pay is,
and then just match it a year. Be like, you just need to talk about Mexican soccer. He'll give him a
that's
job. Lord Marshall needs to make a comeback. We'll remember that. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you again, everybody. Lots of people on the comments. We'll continue it. I think we're gonna be fine. We're gonna get the win against Panama. We're gonna breathe, get ready, and players. I think it's almost because some of the players are not even gonna be there. Chaca Gallardo, none of the Funes Mori. If they leave after this camp, they're not gonna be there either. Diego Lainez are gonna come in. Tecatito's in form. Herrera's gonna come back in leadership. Yeah. All right. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be okay. That's how we're gonna be good.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Mexico gana 2-0. We'll see what happens.
Oh, nice. Right. I like it.
Hasta la próxima. Once again, thank you again. This is Mexican Talk Show.